Salutations! It's me, ImaginALANation. I know it's been a while, but I'm back with a new video. I decided to call it My OCs vs Everyone. I know this sounds scripted, but I sometimes stutter too much, so that's why I wrote a script for myself so I can speak clearly without talking gibberish. Anyway, as you can see here, this is my entire roster. These are all my original cartoon characters from my webcomics, or webtoons as everybody likes to call them. I created a lot of characters ranging from slice of life to superheroes to sci-fi and fantasy to animals. My original characters will be facing off against everyone, from video game characters to cartoons. I'm thinking of them facing off in a Smash Bros. Arena, and everyone has one set of fighting skills. And yes, I have been inspired by animators versus games. I am a fan of DJ and Alan Becker. They're awesome. I like their videos Stick Figures vs Everyone, so I decided to take a page out of their book and create my own video. My original characters each have their own set of fighting skills, whether it's hand-to-hand combat, magical powers, superpowers, etc. But they are also not big and powerful beings, so characters like Thanos or Thor will not be included. Sorry. It will take a while for me to talk about each character individually, so I highly encourage you to go check out my website where I published all my webtoons. The link is in the description below. I made a rule for myself that I'm allowed to pick any character from my roster, so I made a few more rules for myself. Number 1. 1v1 is allowed, and so is 2v2 and 3v3, but there can be no more than 6 characters in the arena. Number 2. Each character has one set of skills. It can be anything from hand-to-hand combat, taijutsu, stealth, etc. However, no character should have more than one set of skills. There are no exceptions. And finally, number 3. As I stated before, my original characters are not ultra powerful, so pitting one of them against mighty characters like Thanos or Thor wouldn't be a fair fight. Just like animator versus games, I'm making a tier list, but unlike their video, I won't be using tier list maker since I don't want to deal with the hassle of logging in and remembering the password and whatnot. So instead, I'll be making my own custom tier list on Adobe Illustrator. This makes more sense to me since I created my cartoon characters and webtoons using Illustrator. I designed my tier list with 5 categories. You win, you have advantage, tie, opponent has advantage, and you lose. I also added in an additional rule. Instead of overthinking everything, I'll be judging each character based on their speed, agility, and fighting skills. Okay, I'm done with the intro. Let's go! Alright, let's get started. These are all the characters who will be facing off against my OCs. I won't get to everybody, but that's okay. I'm just only here to have fun. So why don't we start with the world's famous mouse, Mickey Mouse. Now, Mickey Mouse doesn't have a lot of fighting experience, but he can hold his own in the Kingdom Hearts video games. Now, some may argue that Mickey Mouse is by Disney's side since it owns a lot of companies, but I'm not talking about Disney. I'm only focusing on Mickey Mouse alone. Since Mickey knows how to fight with a Keyblade, he would definitely tie with one of my OCs. Okay, time for the next character. Now, SpongeBob SquarePants may not be an experienced fighter, but he can defend himself with his karate skills. He can fight against my slice-of-life characters, including Alan Stokes, but SpongeBob SquarePants would definitely be eviscerated by my superhero and magical characters. So that's why he will go in the "you have advantage" aisle. Okay, time for Tom and Jerry. Now, Tom and Jerry may not be strong characters alone, but they can team up and put up a fight. Tom the cat might be fast, and Jerry the mouse might be witty, but those skills aren't enough to win against my animal characters, Rosie the chinchilla and Mason the monkey. So my OCs will definitely win. Alright, time for Jimmy Neutron. Now, Jimmy Neutron is a boy genius who can invent anything from making a rocket ship that goes into outer space to building a science lab out of the tool shed. Now, just like the last 4 characters, Jimmy isn't much of a fighter, but he does have his robotic dog, Goddard, with him. With his inventions and his sharp mind, he would definitely have the advantage over my OCs. Okay, let's try someone else who can put up a fight. Aang. Now, Aang is the Avatar. He can bend all four elements and even knock out most of my OCs, especially the ones with magical abilities. He can even metal bend, an earth-bending technique or power that he learned from Toph. Knowing this knowledge, he can tear off the bolts off of my robotic characters. So, as far as I know, he would definitely win against my OCs. Okay, we got another character from the Avatar universe, Zuko. No doubt he can fight as well as Aang, but he can only control fire. Since he can't bend all four elements like Aang, that could be a setback for him. My OCs will survive, but knowing his speed, agility, and dangerous firebending skills, Zuko would definitely have the advantage over my OCs. Okay, let's try another Disney character, Kim Possible. She's a crime fighter and can hold her own in a fight. Ron isn't as strong as Kim, despite his monkey power, and Rufus would tie against my animal characters. I do have a few strong female OCs who would take on Kim Possible. As a group, though, they can stand a chance, but it would most likely end up in a tie. Okay, let's try a power couple, shall we? Ramona Flowers and Scott Pilgrim. Both Scott and Ramona are skilled fighters and can hold their own in a fight. They're both very sharp, though Scott isn't smart as Ramona. Together, though, they can definitely stand a chance against my OCs. Who's a fan of anime? I know I am. Let's try Deku. Now, Deku has a quirk that can help him save people, defeat evil villains, and beat almost everyone in UA, despite the fact that he gets wounded every time he uses his powers. But forgetting about that setback, he would definitely have the advantage over my OCs. Why don't we try a robot this time? XJ9, or as we know her as Jenny Wakeman. Now, Jenny is a robot who saves the world from bad guys everywhere. She has a lot of fighting abilities and can transform herself into a tank, though she is made of metal and doesn't like the rain. Some of my OCs are robots themselves, so they can put up a good fight against her, including Polera and Ruby. So there's no doubt in my mind this will be a tie. Let's try a Daredevil this time. Kik Batowski, Suburban Daredevil. Kik Batowski is a daredevil who can do dangerous stunts. He does have speed and agility, but he has no fighting skills. He can dodge my OC's attacks, but dangerous stunts alone aren't enough to survive a fight, so he would definitely lose. Kirby is a powerful video game character. He is one of the best characters in Ultimate Smash Bros. Ever, in my opinion, of course. He can steal anyone's powers and uses them as his own. My OCs wouldn't stand a chance against Kirby since he would definitely steal their powers. So this is why I think Kirby will come out victorious. Ed, and Eddie. There's Ed and Eddie, also known as the Eds. They aren't the most cunning characters that we know, but knowing Ed's strength, Double D's brains, and Eddie's wit, they'll be able to survive a fight against my OCs. Unfortunately, even with their skills put together, they wouldn't be able to survive the fight. So my characters would definitely have the advantage over them. Let's try two more Cartoon Network characters, Finn and Jake. Now, Finn and Jake, they're skilled fighters and adventurers. They can overcome any obstacle that stands in their way. Finn has his swords and his trinkets, while Jake can stretch into anything he wants. They can outwit most of my OCs, but they would most likely tie with my magical characters, the Lost Supernaturalists Club. More anime coming your way. Hero in Zero 2. Hero in Zero 2 can operate a giant mecha robot called Strelitzia, I hope I said that right, and defeat any monster in their path. Most of my OCs wouldn't stand a chance against them, but since Scarly and her friends also operate a mecha robot of their own, Hero and Zero Two would definitely tie against them. Time for the world's most famous cat, Garfield. I will be honest, he's not the fastest or the most athletic character you would fight with. I guess he has some fighting skills since I watched the TV show and live action films. But overall, my OCs would definitely defeat him and take away his lasagna. Let's try some other Cartoon Network characters, shall we? Mordecai and Rigby, the stars of regular show. They may not like doing work for the park, but they can sure pack a punch when a fight breaks out. Even though Mordecai can throw punches and Rigby's fast, these skills aren't enough to defeat my OCs, so they would most likely be defeated. Who is from Beacon and has magical powers? Team Ruby, that's who. Team Ruby is one of the strongest superhero teams out there. They can use their magical abilities to transport to other areas, fight off the Grim, and even defend themselves if Cinder and her team of bad guys are around the corner. Now, no more than 6 characters are allowed in the arena, so 2v2 is allowed. That's okay though, because Ruby has silver eyes, Yang has her fists, Weiss can fight with her sword, and Blake can clone herself instantly. Despite their magical abilities, my OCs would fend for themselves. Nevertheless, Team Ruby would have the advantage. But you know what? Let's make an exception and say my OCs will lose against them. Okay, let's try one of Nintendo's biggest icons, Mario. Mario, the OG, one of the greatest video game characters of all time. This swift and cunning Italian plumber can transport through pipes, fight off Koopas, and fought Bowser more times than I can count. Any one of my OCs would fend off Mario, but they would come up short and lose the battle. Gotta go fast, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic, a speedy hedgehog with sharp agility and a worthy opponent. Also one of the greatest video game characters of all time, Sonic leaps and bounds ahead of any enemy that charges at him. Although some of my OCs can fight him, Sonic will wipe them out in exhaustion before defeating them. Time for chimichangas, it's Deadpool. Deadpool, Merc with a mouth. He's a dangerous weapon of mass destruction, and is quite indestructible himself. I know that one of my OCs, Garrett Wad, will be able to fight him, though it will come up as a tie in the end. He can do whatever a spider can. It's Spider-Man. Spider-Man, aka Web-Slinger, or Spidey as New Yorkers like to call him. One of Marvel's greatest superheroes, Spider-Man can stop bad guys in their tracks and can swing building to building. He has a lot of speed and agility, and there's no doubt he's a fighter too. He can fight any supervillain from the Green Goblin to Venom. Now, some of my OCs wouldn't stand a chance against Spider-Man, but others would put up a good fight. So the Web Slinger would definitely have the advantage. Why don't we try someone from the DC universe? Superhero Static Shock. Static Shock, the most electrifying hero in the DC universe, he has the power to wield electricity against his enemies. Nearly all of my OCs wouldn't be able to keep up with his abilities, so they would be defeated with Static Shock coming out on top. That's why he belongs with Mario and Sonic. Let's try another character from the DC universe, shall we? Batman. Batman, the Dark Knight of Gotham City. No matter what time it is, this man in the Batsuit fights crime on a daily basis. He even fought the Joker and placed him behind bars numerous times. With his speed, agility, and crime-fighting skills, he would outmatch most of my OCs. But some of them won't go down without a fight. Nevertheless, Batman will come out victorious, and my OCs will lose the fight. Look in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Superman. Superman, the Man of Steel. This son of Krypton has been protecting Metropolis for a long time. He has super strength, super speed, and superpowers. He doesn't have a lot of agility like the other characters on this list, but he can sure fly. As for his fighting skills, he can take down most of my OCs, and that's why he would come out victorious. Who here is a fan of Demon Slayer? I know I am. We have Tanjiro Kamado. Now, Tanjiro can hunt down demons and slay them in less than a minute. He has speed, agility, and fighting skills. He might have the advantage over some of my OCs, but not all of them. So my OCs would definitely have the advantage over him. Let's try another video game character, shall we? Raymond. Raymond, the protector of the Glade of Dreams. This human/eggplant hybrid can turn his hair into helicopter blades and throw punches from long distances. Now, bear with me, I haven't played any of the Raymond games. I only know this character from the Raving Rabbids video game. Sorry, but still though, this character looks like he's a worthy opponent for my OCs. He is most likely going to have the upper hand against my OCs. So why don't we place him right next to Spider-Man? Hide your Scooby snacks, it's time for Shaggy and Scooby-Doo. Now, Shaggy and Scooby-Doo are a dynamic duo when it comes to solving mysteries together. Although they aren't as brave as their friends Fred, Daphne, and Velma, Shaggy and Scooby-Doo are the heart of the team. They have tons of speed and agility since they can run away from ghosts and whatnot. But they lack fighting skills. And despite the Shaggy internet meme, Scooby and Shaggy wouldn't stand a chance against my OCs. They can run all they want, but my OCs would still have the advantage. Yeah, what's up, Doc? It's time for Bugs Bunny. Now, Bugs Bunny is a smart rabbit with a lot of tricks up his sleeve. He can outwit anyone and even dig his way through anywhere, and hopefully take a left turn at Albuquerque. With his speed, agility, fighting skills, and intelligence, he can outwit some of my OCs. But most of my characters are smart enough to see through his tricks. Nevertheless, Bugs Bunny would have the advantage. They're heroes in a half shell and have turtle power. That's right, it's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Protectors of New York City, they live in the sewer to remain unseen while they chow down on pizza. With their ninja skills, they fought off the Foot Clan and Shredder numerous times. My OCs would definitely take on the Turtles, but the match would end in a tie since some of my OCs have the same ninja skills. They may not be immortals, but they are a force to be reckoned with. Big Hero 6. The protectors of San Francisco. They have the technology and the intelligence to fight off street gangs and bad guys in kabuki masks. Now, the rules state no more than 6 characters in the arena, so only 3 members from the team are allowed to fight. I won't overthink this, so I will only focus on the end result. They are crime fighters with speed, agility, and fighting skills. Most of my OCs have the same abilities, so they would have the advantage over Big Hero 6, including Hero and Baymax. Although, Baymax can heal everybody, since, let's face it, he's a healthcare companion after all. He's one of my favorite characters from Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It's Rocket Raccoon. Now, Rocket Raccoon is a foul-mouthed raccoon with dangerous weapons at his disposal. One of the Guardians of the Galaxy, it's best not to mess with him when Star-Lord, Gamora, or Drax are by his side. He could even call Groot for help. Now, taking his skills and abilities into account, he is a worthy opponent against my OCs, especially my animal characters. But I can see Rosie and Mason going up against him and Groot. Nevertheless, Rocket has the advantage. I have saved the best for last, Alan Becker's stick figures. Now, as a group, they're an unstoppable force, but I will only limit them to 3 members. They all have speed, agility, and their fighting skills are off the charts. Most of my OCs would fight red, yellow, green, and blue, but if they face off against orange or the chosen one, my OCs will get their butts kicked. So, it's fair to say that my OCs would lose against them. This is where I'll end the episode. I could go on and add more characters, but I need a stopping point. I will be making a part 2 with even more characters like Korra, Naruto, and Star-Lord. If you guys are interested in seeing a part 2, please let me know in the comments below. BFN, bye for now!